Could you confirm if, according to you, Mr. Sang, if you heard that word for the first time from Mr. Sang, or you had heard it before?
I heard it first from Mr. Sang, Your Honor.
Before that, you had never heard the word Murkelda?
I had never, Your Honor.
And Mr. Witness, is it true that there are people in Kalenjin community who are called Murkelda?
Yes, Your Honor, the Kipsigis community who have tinted it, Your Honor.
So it is true that Kalenjins themselves use that word in description of the teeth, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, outside using it as a description of the teeth, isn't it also true that there are people whose official names is Murkelda?
I've never had one, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, when Sang used the word Murkelda, according to you, at the studio, if it was offensive the way you described it, it would also have offended the Kipsigis who have tinted teeth, as you say, isn't it?
Your Honor, the Kipsigis understands Kalenjin language, and if they had Mr. Sang talking about Murkelda or referring people about on Murkelda, they could have known directly that he was referring to other people because they were listening to what he was saying.
Now, Mr. Witness, you have used the word, the three words that you had used in the interview I just referred you to were Murkelda, which we've gone through, weeds, and captured it. And I want you to just confirm this to the court, that you explained to the prosecution why you consider those words to be, you were asked whether or not the words are bad, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could you confirm this is what you told the prosecution as the reason why, according to you, those words are bad? That you said, you asked, I don't think it is a good thing because I cannot tell you now a sharpener. Or let me, the witness, I'll just take you through how the interview went. You asked whether you knew the exact meaning of captured, and then the interview went on to this effect. I don't think it is a good thing because I cannot tell you now a sharpener. Then he went on to say, that's not your name, and you know exactly, and you exactly know my name. I know your name. You are called somebody, and then I call you another name that's not yours. I don't think that's good. Could you confirm that's the explanation you gave the prosecution?
I confirm, Your Honor.
And you confirm that your testimony that the Kikuyus were abused by the use of the word Murkelda is on account of this explanation I've just read out, Mr. Witness, isn't it?
Your Honor, the Kikuyus were not offended because maybe they didn't even know or hear what Joshua Sang was saying. But what I was trying to say is that Joshua Sang was trying to talk about the Kikuyus in a way that he was not direct saying the Kikuyus, but he was using the names, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, my question is a bit different, if you could understand me. What I'm asking you, Mr. Witness, is the meaning that you, the explanation that you give that these words were bad is for the reason that somebody knows your name and uses another name, the way you've explained to the prosecution, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, you said that Mr. Sang said that the opportunity will be given to everybody to air their views, and you used the word a cow. Did you, Mr. Witness?
I didn't get you, Your Honor.
Did you say that Mr. Sang said there is a cow to be milked in relation to giving opportunity to other political opinions and other politicians, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could you explain again what you meant by that, Mr. Witness?
Your Honor, I was talking about CAS-FM as a business company of broadcasting. And Mr. Sang was talking about other people from other political parties who are coming to CAS-FM to wear or to sell their policies to the Kalenjin community. And I was saying that Mr. Joshua Sang welcomed them, and after they left, he was explaining to the Kalenjin community that CAS-FM is just a cow to be milked, and let them come, sell their policies, but when they have gone, we know where our force could go to, Your Honor.
According to you, this is what Mr. Sang said, and he said after the people who were being interviewed had left, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, I want to play an audio where the word cow in Kalenjin is used. I want you to confirm if that is the audio that you listened to, and then I'll ask you a few questions. Jonas, I would like us to go to tab 18, Jonas. Yona, I am referring to audio reference KEN D11 013 0040 and the transcript D11 0013 0067. And I propose to I'm sorry, Court Officer. The right number for the translation is KEN D11 0013 0090. Your Honor, I propose to play timestamp 44.25 to 46.16 initially for the witness. Your Honor, as that is being said, I request to give a copy of the translation, which has a transcript to the witness, so that you can follow as the audio is playing. Your Honor, in our bundle tab 18, it is at page 33, and the particular reference is KEN D11 013 0122. I apologize to the court officer, but I would request her to assist me, have the witness locate that particular page, page 33. Now, Mr. Witness, if you are at page 33, we will play the audio. If you could attempt to follow what is being said on the audio against what is typed, and then I'll ask you a few questions. Is that okay, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Iburton kugere ke bono do bieno ni. Kapkan ga nan na wolo nge kin dipino. Tebe ko kuba ko le ni original dijon. Anami to sergali. So yara sa.
Oi.
Amma che ka pe zagi apga to ne. Ne ko to ki ko da ki jambo bieni. Ko ga dide ke no ku to ko break back. Ansara yoga.
Mr. Witness, I just want to be sure. Can you follow it on the? Can you see it?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can see it on the document. You have it with you.
Yes, Your Honor.
I will go on.
Ai gongoi. Goi bi segara pa jita wala mo meje biga PNU.
Mr. Witness, could you confirm if you recognize the voice of the person who has just started talking?
I recognize the voice of Joshua Sang, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. I will request you to listen to the rest of what he says.
Tôi có jam ko kita no nito no mo le kal big soet ko ka mo gole en kasarta ke gora ko ko se tugul kami ne gole nyanja yit yigle nyanja yit ko jinne ko to gungen iko se ko man dai oli anan ko jut ko nyende ko ngale ko joto ako rai te nyu ko me ke bai ko me je kwai ne mi ngale ko ra yuak ne ang ne ko monga sine mo muja mo to mising lakini khale ngityo yi mai nge mugulel do ke kas kityo wona je bo die mag je mutanya ko mwaje kwa ko tin ke tinyi bi ke bo khale njin je bo bien nyu ko so ngoni na je ko unoto kulo ko kombu je bo diem ko ayin ko tinyi je bo diem udiem je matatu ko monga to alki kas je ngoni na taw so yi ko to ko te ko mi bi kyo o le mi ta ko sto kyo aje ge telele bi kyo ku yi telele bi kyo ungen ko mio le telele nyo ing pi kyo ku tep ton ngale ka pala tet ko ter kyo lakini kitengi manda bi kyo ko yi ngut ko mi bi kyo kyo inenda ti ngonjo ko maage ne ko mastana ni samuta ko marir ta ne gule ko sir au gyot tik eksa anan go butche amu ma ma joga se to spay man ku no gi miu so bi ke ras to lo sto kyo o so mo gityo mo imge nguta gi tel gu ya ka ma ji go lagi ke tel ko mi le ga wonim ji gu ra ya tung lole to mi lole kam sa.
Mr. Witness, so that the rest of the court is with us, I will read the English translation of what you've just listened and request you to confirm if that's a fair translation of what you've heard. Do you understand, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just before, Your Honor, could we just have the exact reference for the translation and the bundle, the number, the tab number for the translation as well?
Yeah, it's okay. I can give again. It is Ken D11. It's tab 18, Ken D11 0013 0122. Now, Mr. Witness, confirm this is what the translation, this is the English translation of what you've just heard. Hello, Arab Sang. Arab Bundi from Kapsete. The thing I would like to ask you, Kirwa, is how can relax, yet we are suffering? It's so irritating when you say that let him go back again. Ask him if he's our original Kalenjin or you are just taking back this government. So, Arab Sang, I have thought that those who are in PNU should join us. It's really a waste. Can you, you've seen that, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
And could you confirm for the court's record that this is a caller calling into the program Lene made and raising those concerns?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then I'll read how Mr. Sang reacts, and this is what he says. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Arab. Someone says...
Is there any issue about the accuracy of the translation?
Your Honor, considering the questions I want to ask the witness, I would be happier if he himself satisfies himself that the Kalenjin, the translation of the Kalenjin audio is a fair translation, so that when I ask him the questions, we are operating from the same point.
That's exactly what I'm saying. When are you going to ask him that question?
Your Honor, the other concern I have is that I would like also the translation to go on record. I don't know how else I would do that, other than having either to read it or to have the witness read it. And I thought it would be faster if I read it.
You already read it. What I'm asking is whether you want to have the witness confirm that that is a fair translation of the Kalenjin words we heard.
Mr. President, I can do that again. I just asked him the first part, and he says it's okay. I wanted to go paragraph by paragraph, with your permission, right, if that's okay with Your Honor.
Did he say, I must have missed it?
May I ask him again, Your Honor?
Yes, whether what you just read out in English is a fair translation of what appears above in Kalenjin.
Mr. Witness, I've just read out in English. I've read out a translation in English of what we just listened to, and I wanted to ask you, is it a fair translation of what you had in Kalenjin and what is transcribed on the document I gave you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Witness. Now, I want to read the response of Mr. Sang, and then I'll ask you again if it's a fair translation of what Mr. Sang says. Is that okay, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is what Mr. Sang says. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Arab. Someone says he does not want the PNU people. So this is what I'm saying. Some people have just bought to talk, but we will listen to them. We are in the lake, but do not let your heart get disturbed. The ODM team will be here tomorrow to tell us their manifesto. On Monday, we will host the UDM guys. So us, we will stand and listen to our people, wherever they are. Politics aside, we will be looking for where the truth of people lies. Mr. Witness, you've seen that, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it a fair translation of what you just listened in Kalenjin, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
In fairness to you, Mr. Witness, you will also confirm that there is the use, as I'm instructed, of the word cow in the Kalenjin fashion that you just listened to, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
You will also confirm that, in fact, that word may not have been used in the English translation, but it is a general fair translation of what you had, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Witness. The last bit of what...
Mr. Kikin-Katwa, so we are clear on the point about cows. Are you saying that the word cow appears in the Kalenjin version, but does not appear in the English translation?
Yes, Your Honor. I wish to make that concession.
Can you point out the phrasing that can where the word cow in Kalenjin appears?
I can, Your Honor, presumably through the witness.
Fair enough.
Mr. Witness, on your left column, you will see on top of the page, Sang, you can see that. And then you see translation, then column number 1. You can see that, Mr. Witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then you can see transcription, translation, then transcription, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, from where I've reached, I want you to count 4 lines, and then we will read the sentence that has the word cow. Can you see where it starts with the word A-K-O, then the second word is K-O-R-A. Can you see that, Mr. Witness? In the Kalenjin transcription.
You can read it a bit and then I will understand where you're on.
For the court, it is at exactly line 6 after the word, the second transcription. It's a Mr. President, am I allowed to read in, or should I play the audio?
Why don't you read the text? We can start with that. And we can spell it out, because it might be better if you spoke it. The transcript will get it, since the transcript is not capturing audio plays.
I notice, Mr. President, that you are presuming I speak that dialect.
You have spoken it in the past, so that must be a fair presumption.
I'll read it, Mr. President. Akokora I tanyi komeje kwai ne mi ngale kora yu ak ne komangen sene mamuji ama yotok missing lakini kalen kityo I maimkei muguleldo. Can you say that, Mr. Witness?
I can't see where it is written, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Kiginkatwa, later on, if we can highlight that passage and give it to the court reporters so they can reflect it on the record correctly.
Your Honor, I've seen it.
Now, Mr. Witness, can you see that the word cow has been used in that sentence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you tell the court what is the word for the cow in that sentence?
It meant kasefem, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. That's not what I'm asking you. From the text of the passage, can you see the equivalent of the word cow?
Yes, Your Honor, tanyi.
Could you spell it for the court record, Mr. Witness?
T-A-N-Y-I, Your Honor.
That will be the fourth word in from line 6.
That's true, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Witness, I want you to go to page 34. Can you go there if you don't mind? EVD number is Ken D11-0013-0123. Mr. Witness, confirm that what I'm reading is a translation, a fair translation of what you had in Kalenjin and what is transcribed there. Are you at page 34, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
So if there are people like him, let them come and present their views so that tomorrow they would not blame us that we did not give them chance, or when we are defeated, they will say we did not listen to them. Is it the truth? That is why we are here, our listeners. Do not get disturbed. Do not get disturbed. If you have decided if you have decided the way someone has put, no one will remove your vote from your pocket. It is still there. Can you see that, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could you confirm that's a fair translation of what was you had in Kalenjin and what's transcribed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, is this the audio that you were referring to yesterday when you testified and said Sang talked that other parties and KAS-FM have a relationship like a cow and a situation of milking, Mr. Witness?
No, Your Honor. Sang used the word cow in many occasions. That was not the one I was saying, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, please. Now, I thought you were going to get the witness to tell us what the sentence translates into, the sentence that contained the word cow that you read in. Mr. Kiginkatwa, you can put it directly to the witness. It might be easier to tell the witness this is what it means, isn't it?
Mr. Witness, The paragraph that I read and the one you said you were able to locate, making reference to a cow, could you confirm that what Mr. Sang is saying is that the cow needs to be fed? Could you confirm that's what he said?
I confirm, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Witness. Now, I was asking you whether this is the audio you were referring to yesterday, and you were explaining that Mr. Sang used the phrase cow several times, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could you just confirm that your explanation to the court of the use of the word cow by Mr. Sang is consistent with this audio you just listened to?
Your Honor, the word cow, Joshua Sang was referring Kas FM as a cow, which needs to be fed, Your Honor.
And Mr. Witness, do you understand this audio to be saying exactly the same? Because that's Mr. Sang's position, that's exactly what he meant.
He said so, Your Honor.
And is this one of the audios that you had? You said he used it several times. Is this one of the audios that you had Mr. Sang using the phrase cow?
I don't remember if I had it, but for now I had used the term cow again, Your Honor.
So what you're saying, Mr. Sang is saying in the passage that defense counsel read out means that Kas FM is a cow that needs to be fed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. President, at this point, I would request that the audio I've just referred to be put in as Mr. Sang's defense exhibit.
And the prosecution objects to that. I think we've gone through this various times in the past, and the court's rulings have been clear. If the witness in this type of evidence, whether it be a video or an audio, if the witness is not able to confirm that this is something that he heard in the past live on the radio, then we've been continuously and systematically giving those audio and the translation and transcript MFI numbers. That's exactly what has happened, and I can refer the chamber to transcript 49, where the chamber deals with the video, and the chamber explicitly states that if the witness had confirmed seeing it, or if the prosecution agreed to that, then it would be given an EVD number and not an MFI. The issue, what's at issue here is what if the audio that has been put to the witness is what it purports to be a broadcast or a live broadcast that was broadcasted at one point is really what it is, and the witness has not been able to give any evidence in that regard. So on those bases, I think that it should be maintained as simply an MFI for the moment.
Response?
Mr. President, we would insist on our request to have it produced. The first thing I would like to say is that the witness has confirmed that the substance of what he had is consistent with the testimony that he had used, and which we concede, Mr. President, for the record, that Mr. Sang used that expression. Secondly, Your Honors, the witness confirms that he recognizes Mr. Sang's voice in this instance, and which has a very direct bearing on the testimony he had used. Thirdly, Your Honors, we have put in at tab 4 a confirmation from the station, Kas FM station, which kept the records of these audios, confirming that in fact this audio was aired on the day that we have indicated it was aired, being the 28th November 2007. Lastly, Your Honors, it will be recalled that the witness said that these events took place, or this audio and the substance of what he alleged was made in the year 2007. And that is exactly the same period that this audio, as we contend, was aired and was confirmed by Kas FM. For all those reasons, Your Honors, we submit that there is a nexus between this witness and the audio, which the witness has been able to recognize, at least the elements of his testimony and Mr. Sang's voice. and secondly, that it has been verified by the custodians of the audio. Mr. President, we pray that the audio be admitted as an exhibit, together with the translation and the transcription.
If I may, Your Honor, the information or the affidavit that we see at tab 4 is completely inadmissible at this point. The defense counsel will have to lead evidence of this affidavit, bring the person who has signed the affidavit. I understand it's a Mr. Lamoan, Julius Lamoan from CASFM, Calais Company Limited. The defense counsel cannot simply lead into evidence an affidavit of a witness who has not come to court to testify, especially during the prosecution's case. So I don't think that the court can take into consideration any of the information that's written down in this affidavit. As for this question of the witness being able to identify the voice of Joshua Sang, we've already gone through this type of debate in the past regarding other videos and other audio recordings, and the Chamber's decision has always been clear. Transcript 49, page 102, is the Chamber's decision regarding a video. Now, the Chamber's decision is clear in that it states that if the witness is not able to give any evidence as to the authenticity, which is basically has he heard it in this case in the past, then it should not be admissible as an EBD number but as an MFI.
Can you read exactly the ruling of the Chamber on the occasion, word for word?
Yes, indeed, Your Honor. So it's transcript 49, page 102, lines 9 to 12. The Chamber states and held, the difficulty in this case is the witness saying she did not see these materials at the time or these videos at the time. That's what makes the difference. If she had seen them or agreed, the Chamber would have been inclined to treat these videos as was done in the past. So on that basis, the videos will be marked MFI. So these were, in this case, it was a question of videos. But in the case, and I suggest to the, and I submit to the Chamber that in the case of the audio, we've also applied the same reasoning. If the witness is not able to speak as to the authenticity of an audio recording by stating in this type of case that he's heard it in the past and he's heard it live on as a broadcast on CASFM, then it should only begin an MFI, because the main problem and what's at issue is the authenticity. Is the audio recording authentic? Is it something that was honestly broadcasted at a certain point in time? And there is absolutely no evidence on this point from this witness. The witness says clearly it is not the audio that he heard. He says, yes, they are speaking about similar things, but it's not the one. That's what we have on record for the moment.
Mr. President, if I could address this issue, because it deals with also a issue of principle. It's our respectful submission that the scheme under the Rome Statute is not one that puts in strict rules of admissibility. Indeed, the converse. The principle is in favour of the free admissibility coming before the Chamber, with clear safeguards that there must be sufficient indicia of reliability and a prima facie showing of relevance. Your Honour's my learned friend, of course, has spoken to affidavits. Of course, that is something, the nature of the evidence, the prima facie content of what was played seems to me to be clearly relevant. Coupled with the affidavit, we say there are sufficient indicia of reliability. And so there should be no prohibition, as a matter of principle, with simply giving it an exhibit number. Of course, this is not conclusive as to authenticity. It's not conclusive as to veracity, and it's without prejudice for the prosecution to bring any evidence in rebuttal. And of course, the defence, if the defence wish any evidence to be given proper weight, it would be appropriate to bolster it where necessary. But, Your Honour, that needn't be done at the outset when one is seeking admissibility. The prosecution, in my respectful submission, has disclosed, of course, a understandable, but I would say misplaced opposition to defence documents and defence evidence that's been used in these proceedings from being assigned exhibit numbers. Your Honour, a time may come, of course, where the defence say there's no case to answer. That's not a theoretical possibility. We have a right to make a submission of no case to answer.
But we're not doing that now. So can you speak?
No, Your Honour. So, Your Honour, we say, as a matter of principle, it is for the bench to decide whether or not evidence is admissible. The test for that should be relevance, that's made out, and indicia of reliability, not conclusive proof. And, Your Honour, as we say, if that's made out, it should be admissible. But one can't say that evidence can't be admitted simply because it's not definitively proved. That is a license for to prevent the defence effectively from getting evidence in until a defence case.
All right, Mr. Sang, we'll leave it there.
Your Honour, can I say one additional thing? A factor that may militate in favour of the argument put forward is sometimes it's simpler to put evidence in and quicker and more expedient and fairer in this stage rather than calling 100 or 150 defence witnesses later on if that's necessary. Your Honour, I'm most grateful.
Mr. Kigen-Katwa, you have referred to the affidavit appearing at type 4.
Yes, Mr. President.
I see that this affidavit is a list of items that runs to, would it be 74 items?
Yes, Mr. President. And that particular item we are referring to is in that affidavit as item number item number 29, Your Honors. Item number 29 at reference Ken D11 0013 0073.
How do we establish that link to item number 29?
Mr. President, the link is in the sense that if you see the first column, Mr. President, it indicates the item. The second column is the date of the audio, which is exactly the same date that the document I've just referred to and the audio I've just referred to relates to the 28th of November 2007. And it relates to an interview between one Mr. Joshua Sang and William Kiriwa, which is exactly the content of that audio. And lastly, it relates to an opportunity given to a political party called PNU to come and sell what they stand for as a political party, and which is exactly the event that obtains on the audio.
At this stage, we are dealing with the audio, not just the transcript.
Yes, yes, Mr. President, and I'm happy enough if the audio could go in.
The audio is the source information that generated or from which the transcripts were generated, isn't it?
Absolutely, Mr. President.
So
yes.
that's what our main focus now is the audio.
Yes, Mr. President.
All right.
Mr. President, with your permission, may I say two things in reaction to what Mr. Lucia said?
Before you do that, I want us to see how we sufficiently tie the audio to item 29.
Mr. President, I can...
without producing who it is that says this is from our record. This is the audio. I'm identifying the audio. And it came from our ordinary record or from our archives. How do we do that now?
Mr. President, I understand the question to be that you want me to demonstrate that there is a relationship between the audio that I propose to produce and the item number 29 in tab 4.
Yes, for purposes of deriving sufficient cover under the affidavit.
I am happy to do that, Mr. President, through the witness, if that's okay.
All right.
Now, Mr. Witness, I would request that I play out for you another part of the same audio, and then I'll ask you a few questions, Mr. Witness. I would like to play timestamp 00 to 100. 0 minutes, 0 seconds to 1 minute. And that for the court officer is in Ken D11 013 091. And as that is being set, Mr. Witness, you can look at the document you've just been given, page 2. You are at page 2, Mr. Witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, just briefly before I ask you to listen to the audio and ask you a few questions, could you confirm that in your testimony to the prosecution, you made reference to Kass FM as a radio station and some of the people you know work there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could you confirm if you know the chief executive of Kass FM?
Joshua Jepkonyon.
You know another name at the Kass FM? Do you know anybody else at the management level?
I know Joshua Lamaon, Your Honor. I don't know if the other name is Joshua, but Lamaon, Your Honor.
Would you be saying Julius Lamaon, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, I want to play out for you timestamp 00 to 100. And if you could very kindly just look from the top, Mr. Witness, you consider Mr. Witness.
Kit nekimakchinigei kenyisiek mut chemi tai. Kumeche kenai komie ak keweiwei komie ku biikab Kalenjin kele ano le anyiny, ano le kararan, ano le kemakchinigei. Ko kounoto asome kasarta asikobit yepchit ak
Mr. Witness, can you recognize the voice of the person speaking?
Joshua Sang, Your Honor.
And are you able to locate from the transcript what is where he's speaking?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Let's just go on listening.
Gas kora komoswek tugul situn kastoikyo kaitar kinoto abwati ale yoto lotile ole kaole yu tatyo komong kurenik chokinde chokomong ko yoto litulu kele katokchigei ano biikcho ing serikalit ingiro akotepto ano akwoe ne komeche kekas ing chemi nguni amu ikose kora komi biik chelen Kibaki tena kimeche ketep kele ichuto mwoe ole Kibaki tena ko eng or ne chemwoe kora kole haja kai ko ODM tosha eng or ne aje kitu kekochi nafas kobit kongalal ingalal akinye tatyo kongalal akichek kekas kastoikyok ko eng let angen ale tomo kebir kura amami chi nekakotut kurayat eng lolengung ngalaleni kityo kounoto ikas tatyo tun ibichutu kurayat tarik 27 ibir kosubkei ak naet nekoinyoru ko eng studio mbita Kaprali kitinye agenge kipsomaninik kyok ako kondoi kora ing buryetab Kalenjin ak agenge eng biik chekinyor boroindo kwai boisiet ing serikali nemitei nguni nebo President Mwai Kibaki ko inendet Mheshimiwa William Arap Kirwa. Karibu.
Kongoi Arap Sang. Akalen chamgei eng biik chok tugul chebo Kalenjin eng tugul ole mitei. Biik chok chebunu Morgusi. En chamgei tugul.
Kongoi missing itagat eng studio.
Now, Mr. Witness, I will start by asking you to confirm if the English translation of what you've heard is correct. And could you confirm this is what Mr. Sang says? Seventh, we are going to decide what we want in coming 5 years. So we need to do keen soul searching as Kalenjin community so that we can know which side is sweet, which side is good, on which side do we want to be. On that matter, I would like to request you as listeners to listen to all sides so that when the time comes, you will be able to make the right decision through a large voter turnout that will define general direction for our people. in which government, how they will stay, and what they will be doing. Therefore, we want to listen to the current situation, as there are those saying Kibaki Tena. So we want to ask ourselves that those who are saying Kibaki Tena are saying it in which way? Similarly, those who are saying ODM Tosha, are they saying so for what reason? Mr. Witness, could you confirm that what I've just read is a fair translation of the first paragraph of the transcription?
I confirm, Your Honor.
For the court record, that is Ken D11 0013 0091. Mr. Witness, I will read the translation of the second part, and this is what it states. Our task is to give them a chance to present their views for us to present ours. This is just talking. No one is going to forcefully remove your vote from your pocket. Therefore, let us just listen so that on 27th December, we will vote according to knowledge you have acquired. Could you confirm that's a fair translation, Mr. Witness?
I confirm, Your Honor.
Then the next one is, so in the studio today, we have one of our own professionals and a leader in the Kalenjin community. He is one of those who got a chance to serve in the current government under President Kibaki. That is Honorable William Arap Kirwa. Welcome. Could you confirm that's a fair translation, Mr. Witness?
I confirm, Your Honor.
Lastly, Mr. Witness, this statement is made. Thank you, Arab Sang. I would like to say hi to all Kalenjin people wherever they are, my people from Murkusi. Hi to all of you. Can you see that, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
You confirm it's a fair translation of what is in English?
It is fair, Your Honor.
For the court record, that is Ken D11 0013 0092. Now, Mr. Witness, you have already confirmed to us that you recognize the voice of Mr. Joshua Arap Sang. You've also seen reference to one Honorable William Arap Kirwa. Can you see that, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you know him, Mr. Witness?
I had him during 2007, Your Honor, but I don't know him personally, Your Honor.
So you know him by reputation, but you don't have personal knowledge of that individual?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, are you in a position to confirm that the voice you heard at page 3, Ken D11 0013 0092, is the voice of that Mr. William Kirwa, who you said you've heard in the past in the year 2007?
I don't recall his voice, Your Honor. I can't confirm, Your Honor.
Witness, did you listen to that broadcast at the time?
I don't remember listening to that program, Your Honor.
Mr. Kiginkatwa.
With your permission, may I ask just a question related to what you've just asked, Mr. President?
Fair enough.
Mr. Witness, this would be about the third time when you are being asked whether you listen to that program, and you say you don't recall. Isn't it, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
May I understand the sense in which you say you don't recall? Is it in the sense that you may have heard it but can't quite remember whether it's exactly the same one?
Yes, Your Honor. I might have heard it, but I might not remember for now.
May I ask you, Mr. Witness, and it borders on repetition, but may I ask you, the substance of what Mr. Sang says in terms of cows is the sense in which you were adducing evidence yesterday about what Mr. Sang was saying, isn't it?
Your Honor, I have said that Mr. Sang used the word cow in different days during 2007. And what he was saying here, the only meaning that I understand is the same, is about KASFM as a business company. But it doesn't mean that because I've read or I've listened to him, it doesn't mean that the word which has used cow means that the whole audio which he said was only for that day. But the word cow, the same thing, it was meaning Gas FM, has to be paid so as to hear.
All right, thank you. 1 second. We will admit the audio and the translations, the witness's clarification that there is an identity of concepts between what he testified to before, in the sense of Gas FM being a cow, is sufficient to warrant admission of the evidence at this stage.
Thank you very much, Your Honors.
Thank you, Mr. President. The audio CAN D11 0013 0040 will bear the following number: EVD-T-D11-00020, and will also be referenced as Sang Defense Exhibit number 20. Its translation CAN D11 0013 0090 will bear the following number: EVD-T-D11-00021, and will also be referenced as Sang Defense Exhibit number 21. Both items will be registered as public.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Witness, I will take you back to the first audio that we played, which is at page 33. And that is CAN D11 013 0122. Mr. Witness, could you confirm that from the playing of that audio, and what you heard, it is true that the caller called when Mr. William Kirwa was still at the studio making his presentation?
Yes, Your Honor.
In which case, Mr. Witness, you would agree that Mr. Sang, in this case, assuming you have other cases when he made those comments afterwards, at least in this case he made the comments when the visitor was still at the studio, isn't it, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Mr. Witness, looking at the first part of the audio, could you confirm a couple of things that I've just taken you through that Mr. Sang said? The first one is Mr. Sang says they will accommodate all political parties.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that is contained in CAN D11 013 0091, extending to CAN D11 013 0092. Could you also confirm that Mr. Sang, at the introduction, said that what he was broadcasting on that day was paid for by PNU?
Yes, Your Honor.
could you confirm that both in the first transcript, the first audio that I played, D1100130092, and the one at page 33, D1100130122, Mr. Sang says that the station will remain available for everybody to come and air their position?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also said that nobody will take away your vote from your pocket, isn't it, in both instances?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also said that the station will be available to enable the population understand and make informed choices on the 27th of December 2007 when they go to cast their votes.
I confirm, Your Honor, but no written date, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, if you look at page 3, Ken D1100130092, are you there, Mr. Witness?
Page 3.
Yes, Mr. Witness. Mr. President, as that is being done, I request for a correction in the transcript, page 74, page 73, line 18 to 19. And the question I put to the witness was that the votes belonging to the votes will not be removed from the pockets of the population.
Votes, V-O-T-E-S.
Now, Mr. Witness, at page 3, you will confirm at paragraph 2 that this is what Mr. Sang said. Our task is to give them a chance to present their views for us to present ours. This is just talking. No one is going to forcefully remove your vote from your pocket. Therefore, let us just listen so that on 27th December, we will vote according to knowledge you have acquired. Is that correct, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so you confirm the date which you said was not there. Is actually there, indicating the date of the elections, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Two last questions on that issue, Mr. Witness. Could you confirm which, to the best of your recollection, you say you knew a bit of Mr. William Kirwa from what you heard. Could you confirm which political party he belonged to?
He was in VNU, Your Honor.
And could you confirm which political party Mr. Ruto belonged to?
ODM, Your Party, Your Honor.
And Mr. Witness, what you heard at page 33 was an attack on Mr. William Kirwa, telling him in the Kalenjin audio that you heard that if the station is unable to host anybody better than him, then the station should either play music or close up. Do you see that, Mr. Witness? Do you recall that?
I had, Your Honor.
And could you confirm, Mr. Witness, that Mr. Sang defended Mr. William Kirwa, saying, let everybody have his day?
I confirm, Your Honor.
Mr. President, I would like to move on to something different. Mr. Witness, you said that Mr. Sang used the word capture-led, did you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Spell.
Would you confirm that the spelling of capture-led is K-A-P-C-H-E-L-I-T?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, you clearly are knowledgeable. You have explained yourself as understanding Kalenjin culture and Kalenjin history. Could you tell the court again, did you say capture-led is a reference to the Kikuyus?
I didn't say. Joshua Sang was mentioning to them. Instead of saying Kikuyu, we could use capture-led, Your Honor. That's what I say.
And Mr. Witness, your understanding is that that word makes reference to Kikuyus. That's what I'm asking you.
He was referring Kikuyus as capture-led, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, I want to play to you an audio where that word is used. That is at tab number 17 in our bundle, Your Honors. That is Ken. The audio is Ken D11 013 0039. And I would like to play timestamp 318 to 500. The transcription is at page tab 17 and is Ken D11 013 0013 0290. I'll say it again. Ken D11 0013 0290. I'll play the audio. Mr. Witness, I'll give you the document containing the transcription. I want you to listen as you follow with the document, and then I'll ask you a few questions. Mr. Witness, we will play the audio. If you could follow, we are looking at page 2, Mr. Witness, where it starts with the words interlude. And that is for the court record, Ken D11 0013 0291 to Ken D11 0013 0292.
Kastayna niyo nga missing kasarta ora lebate tutyenyo nebo koskolungu tabrani kuigo mon bitaw mot kotesta kastay kyogora eng piki terterchin kuibuak tetutik eng aletap site asabit ko ngalal ngalek kyoto chitinyege ak magenwa anan ko tuguk kinyolu genai kuimbi tabrani gora otinya agenge eng tetutik kyoto kastay kyok che sponsored ko gibindi noto negal big site sabit ko ngalal ngalek chitinyege akit nagamaje kumwowa ko gi porurietab Kalenjin anan ko bigap Kenya kunguna kastay kyok eng koskolungu tabrani gora otinye tetutiet nebo site agenge ne noto ko apik chekagone sponsorship anan chaka sponsor gibindi anan chekaguru gibindi ni ko kurege kibaki tena ugunoto ko inyo atinye tayeng studio che agenge ko noto kubunu kebeberatak na medyo kumwawe missing eng komastake kwage ko chito kostay kyogora nongen ako meje asokabit kokonech imanda eng komastake asiyikikose ngaleju kuikimwa chitab kolenjin kole nyanjait kekas tetiene ile ikose tugul ako ing let kuinyine itile kit neketil ko kunoto ameche atajen tugul imite kainen ko Joshua Arap Sang eng studio kemi ak boyot Jeremiah Arap Ngetich karibu Jeremiah sikat biik ab kolenjin ako timwoge komie
Kongoi Arap Sang Jeremiah.
Mr. Witness, could you confirm if you recognize the voice of the person who has been speaking before the one who just immediately started?
Joshua Sang, Your Honor.
And do you recognize the voice of the next person?
I don't recognize, Your Honor.
I will request you to listen to it a little more.
Ngetich kubun kitali barat ak bomet ko amaje angalalji atokiku pigap kolenjin akobo story nebo kolenjin ak pigap kamama jegi kemen tugul eng betu kechang ak eng bawnoto sikisirto kechang
Kongo missing boyot Jeremiah Arap Ngetich ko kunoto stek yakaikas ing tokyinetab ngalalet ko kamwa kole ngolole biikab kolenjin ak biikab kamama anan gure biik alak biikab koilegen anan ko kainet ak kokoek eng biik chiki kamwa kole eng mingatetab biikab kokoek ak biikab kolenjin kotomo kenam katiaknatetab emoni Uhuru ak yekakobata Uhuru akoi nguni ko koming studio kora kastoindenyo imbetab rani otinye mwana historia ne ingen ngalekab history ne noto komeche kongongwech akichek historia nebo iman netogunot ne noto ko eng sirutik ak eng chikilet nemite kostoikyo semwowek boyot historia ne ingen ngab mastanin kenyoru as historia ne mwana historia ne ingen akine nguritit komie ako noto amune sikomi yu imbetab rani Pastor Peter Chemaswet ne inendet ko mailing kongololdojin biikab Kibaki tena lakini konu historia ne chulat eng oret ne ingendoi kou yikikenai eng historia chechang chikikomwowech akobo tuguk anan biik cheterterchin eng emetab Kenya. Karibu Pastor.
Agata biikab kolenjin amganetab Kristo kole chamgei sibai bororietab kolenjin tugul namolomi.
Mr. Witness, do you recognize the voice of this new person?
I recognize Pastor Chemaswet, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. I just want to go on a little more. I will request you to keep a very close ear for the word capture lead that you have referred to, then I'll ask you a few questions. Thank you.
Can you spell Chemaswet for the record?
Mr. Witness, could you confirm that the spelling of Pastor Chemaswet is this? Pastor is the usual pastor. Chemaswet is C-H-E-M-A-S-W-E-T.
I confirm, Your Honor.
Please, Mr. Witness, listen.
Kongoi missing kunoto stek yaketestai tetutyetab rani amu kikamwa kole tetutiet kunyonei koibwech Kibaki tena ko tetutiet nekakial sait sikobit kongalalda ngalechu ako kamwa ale kora tindoi boroindo chamainik tugul kwaljigei sait nyongololji biik komwa ngalek chekerei wikini nyonei abwoti ale akere kumwa kele kibi age chokokwal sait ko chamaitab KADU kotekekonye kora eng komostab ODM Kenya ODM kwal akichek kebeberta nyongololji biik kostoikyok eng ngalek chetesetai eng emoni ak magenwa ak boisionik cheterchin kou ni birani kuikamwoi boyot Arap Ngetich ko kiker akobo historia nebo biikchok ak biikab koilegen eng rani tiketieme kora sikiro historia nebo biikab koilegen ak biikab Kapsome historia nebo biikab Kalenjin ak biikab Kapkongai anan Kapkolosia ak biik cheterterchin lakini missing kwakimeche kiro historia nebo biik chok ak biik chemokyingei ngecherok korok amu mele kambe kero chun tugul chun komakitare kabilosiek artam.
Mr. Witness, I will ask you to kindly confirm that this is a fair translation of what you just heard. The first one is the second last paragraph at page 2, which says, "Yes, dear listener, thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is the time for our program this evening. As I told you yesterday, dear listener, we continue to listen to programs by those who paid for airtime in order to speak about their aspirations or things we need to know." Could you confirm, Mr. Witness, if that's a fair translation of that first paragraph?
I confirm, Your Honor.
The next paragraph. So today I have one of the sponsored programs. By sponsored, we mean those programs whereby individuals have paid for airtime so as to discuss issues that they wish to share with you, either as Kalenjin people or as people of Kenya. So this evening, dear listeners, I will be running a 1-hour session sponsored by a team that calls themselves Kibaki Tena. Can you see that, Mr. Witness? And could you confirm its fair translation?
I confirm, Your Honor.
For the record, Kibaki Tena is Kibaki is K-I-B-E-B-A-K-I, and Tena is T-E-N-A. Mr. Witness, this is the next paragraph. As such, I have with me here at the studio guests from the region, from that region, and they wish to represent that side. And we also have someone else to represent the other side, so that we can get to know the truth. And after listening, after all someone has said that the ear is a lek, you can then make an informed choice. So I would like to welcome you wherever you may be tuned in. My name is Joshua Arabsang. Could you confirm if that's a fair translation?
I confirm, Your Honor.
The next paragraph here.
Council also remember to read with moderate speed. I do not know whether you already gave the text to the court reporters, but even so, it's always good to pace so that they can catch up, as well as interpreters as well. And witness also remember to give that pause between the question, the end of the question, and your beginning to answer it.
I apologize, Mr. President. I'll be slow. Mr. Witness, could you confirm if this is a fair translation also?
I confirm, Your Honor.
Here at the studio, we have Jeremiah Arab Ngetich. Welcome, Jeremiah. Greet the Kalenjin people and tell us more about yourself. Is that a fair translation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ngetich, for the record, can you spell, please?
Mr. Witness, could you confirm that Ngetich is N-G with an apostrophe on top, E-T-C, sorry, may I say it again? N-G with an apostrophe on top, E-T-I-C-H.
I confirm, Your Honor.
And then he says, this is Jeremiah Ngetich from Kibomet, Kitale. I wish to speak with the Kalenjin people about the history of the Kalenjin people and the people of Kamama, into brackets Kikuyus, with whom we have lived over many decades. Is that correct, Mr. Witness?
Yeah, there is no bracket, but the words you have spoken is correct.
Mr. Witness, so what you're saying is that the words in brackets are not in Kalenjin, but the rest are a fair translation.
Your Honor, I'm saying that there is nothing which has been put to bracket here.
The English version, Mr. Witness, if you see page 4 on top, can you see? You can't see.
I was reading the Kalenjin version, Your Honor.
Oh yeah, I appreciate what you're saying. So what you're saying is that the English translation has Kikuyu into brackets, which is not there in the Kalenjin transcription, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
For the record, Kibomet is K-I-B-O-M-E-T, and then Kitale. And Kamama is K-A-P, and then Mama, M-A-M-A. Mr. Witness, the next paragraph. Thank you very much, Elder Jeremiah Ngetich. As such, dear listeners, you have heard the focus of the talk as he has indicated. He will speak about the relationship among the Kalenjin and the Kikuyu communities, right from pre-independence through post-independence to date. Is that a fair translation, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then the next paragraph. We also have here with us, dear listeners, a historian who knows much about history and is going to unveil to us a true known history according to historical records and research, so that the elder can tell us his version of the history, and the historian can also give us his insightful views. That's the reason he is here today, Pastor Peter Chemaswet. Is that a fair translation, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
The next paragraph, Mr. Witness, at page 5, Ken D11 00130294 is to this effect. He is not speaking on behalf of Kibaki Tena, rather, he is here to give us a clear history as he knows it, just like he has given us other historical exposes about many things, or rather different peoples of Kenya. Welcome, Pastor. Do you confirm, Mr. Witness?
I confirm, Your Honor.
And Pastor Chemaswet says this: I greet the Kalenjin community in Jesus Christ's name, saying hi. Greetings, Kalenjin people, wherever you are.
I confirm, Your Honor.
Then Mr. Sang says, thanks a lot. Thus, dear listeners, we will proceed with today's program in the manner I had indicated earlier, that this program has been sponsored by Kibaki Tena. They have bought airtime in order to pass across their message. I had also indicated that every party has the opportunity to buy airtime in order to pass across their message to the people. Is that fair, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then, Mr. Witness, next week, I believe that we can tell you that KADU has bought airtime, and we are still waiting for ODM Kenya and ODM to do the same, so as to speak with the people of Kenya, about current affairs, their aspirations and activities. Is that fair, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
And lastly, Mr. Witness, as Elder Ngetich has said, today we are exploring the historical background of our interaction with the people of Koilegel, Mount Kenya, the Kikuyu. We will make efforts so that we can, in future, explore the history of the Kikuyu with Kapsome, the Luo, and the history of Kalenjin with Kapkongai, Kapkulusia, the Luya. However, we are primarily interested in the history of our people's interaction.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you see a lot of gaps in the transcript so far. You need to be spelling those words where you encounter them. It will be difficult to read first and go back and fill them in. You used the word Koilegel. You did not spell it.
Mr. President, I can spell them.
Terminology you're bringing in. Just spell them when you encounter them.
I'll do that, Mr. President. I'll read that paragraph again, Mr. Witness, that last paragraph. As Elder Ngetich has said, today we are exploring the historical background of our interaction with the people of Koilegel, Mount Kenya. Koilegel is spelled Koilegel, the Kikuyu. We will make efforts so that we can, in future, explore the history of the Kikuyu with Kapsome, the Luo. Kapsome is Kapsome, and the history of the Kalenjin with Kapkongai / Kapkulusia. The spelling Kapkongai is KAPKONG'Ai. Kapkulusia is KAPKULUSYA, the Luya. However, we are primarily interested in the history of our people's interaction with those groups with political aspirations, because I do not think we would be able to complete the different histories of 42 tribes. Mr. Witness, the audio went that far. Could you confirm if that is a fair translation of what you heard?
It is, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, you recall that our interest was in the use of the word capture. Let you recall that, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could you confirm that you have seen the use of that word at page 6, Ken D11 0013 0295 in the Kalenjin transcription, and that you also heard it when you listened to the audio?
I didn't understand anything by the writings or the audio, Your Honor.
Do you want the audio played again so that you see if you can trace that word, Mr. Witness?
What I'm trying to say, Your Honor, is that I didn't understand what the meaning of the words which have been used here were for, but I understood what was the meaning of capture it at that time. What Joshua Sang was using capture it at that time.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. All I just want you to confirm for the record is that you've seen the use of the word capsulate in this audio, both in terms of listening to it and in terms of the transcription that I've just given you. Could you confirm you've heard it and you've seen it?
I confirm, Your Honor.
Mr. Keegan Katwa, it's 1 o'clock.
Yes, Mr. President, I can resume in the afternoon.
Yes, we will be rising for the lunch break. The blinds will come down and witness escorted from the courtroom first.